Laila Majnu. And I'll tell you, I was shortlisted for Laila Majnu, and I was, I think, 22 that time. Very close. And the thing is, the guy had to be a little older than the girl. I didn't know who was going to be playing the girl. That time, it was my audition round days. So I auditioned for the part, but they thought I was a little too young. So I grew my beard and all. My brother had he bought a new camera, so he shot me in that, and I made a folder. I mailed them the profile. Obviously, it didn't work out because I don't know, for some reason. Then I got to know that she's doing it. So I remember I went to the screening of Laila Majnu just to know like what did I miss, and that's when I was like, who is this girl? She was so beautiful. She was so like that innocence and purity which you have. She had that, and surprisingly she still kind of has it. When I was acting with her in Dhadak 2, I could still see that purity in her somehow. Even though it's been like 6, 8, 9 years for her in the industry, and you kind of happen to lose that eventually. And the same thing I found in, I think, Kala, Bulbul, and her performances were gripping. The intensity was there. That I often tell her that she has this little thing of she's very she comes across as very nurturing. At the same time, she's very independent and fearless. This combination I haven't seen in a while. Either somebody who's very nurturing is more like submissive, and the people who are very independent and fearless are very selfish. It comes across as that, but she has the best of both the worlds. And
Kya baat hai? We should only make Siddhant talk about us. This is lovely. It's amazing. Because he said, Nilesh, I want to say that Vidhi, what I love about her is her hair. It's so random I'm saying this.
No, of course.
But I'll tell you why I say this. It's because it's got this element of it's not being a heroine. उसके बाल straight नहीं है, उसके बाल एक certain way से रखे हैं. And I feel it's also a place of both of you coming from, you're saying that there is no place for vanity here. And it's also lovely and refreshing. So do you think the physical appearance of Vidhi has helped your character?
It has, certainly. And I think Shazia took that call on the very first day. She said, I don't want to put any makeup on you. I don't want checks happening in between. I don't want your hair to be blow dried because it'll take away from the film. I want her to be real. I want her to, look like a real person and not like a done-up heroine. Of course, that works for certain films. But here she said, I don't want any of that because I want people to connect with her. I want people to, when they watch her on screen, they should feel like, okay, I'm this girl. And for that, I think it was very, very important. And, I also felt sort of free while I was performing because there was no checks happening. When I was in the scenes, mascara is dripping down, nothing. And she's like, no checks. I want, you go to college, you put whatever, your liner, mascara, and if you get in a fight with someone, you'll cry, this will happen. I want it to stay like this.
That's amazing.
And it really, really made me feel free, made me feel like, okay, I just have to be here. I don't have to think about how I'm looking, whether my hair is straight or not. If you watch the trailer, there is that shot where we are doing this. My hair is everywhere, but it just looks so good.
It looks real. And that's why I like it. I want to take you back to the day when you signed this film, or the time in your life when you signed this film. Every film, when you sign it, has a specific meaning. Okay? क्या बोलते हैं ना, एक अहमियत होती है. तो उस दौर में आपकी ज़िंदगी में धड़क 2 की अहमियत क्या थी और है when you got the film?
I think lockdown चल रहा था उस वक्त. I remember. And Karan had called me. He said, go meet Shazia. She has something for you. And I went and met Shazia and Rahul. And 2 hours, they narrated the story. After that, we spoke for good 3 hours. And that changed everything. I could see the seriousness. I could see that they're not just making it for the heck of it. They actually believe in the story and they care for it. And I think finding that honesty in your director is the first step.
Sure.
And I found that honesty in both of them, and I immediately, it was a no-brainer for me. Also because, you've grown up with such stories, I've grown up with, hearing stories from my friends and family that, okay, this person is getting married to this person and we are not going to attend the wedding function because it's not a perfect match. And as a kid, you would not question it. You would be like, this is how it happens. But then now, you're like, why were we doing that? 2 days back, I was talking to one of my old friends, and they're the same age as me. It's so embarrassing because I was talking about Dhadak, and they said, "Oh, but what is it about?" I said, "It's about caste system and how it's how it
Correct.
is still there in the society." Yeah, but it's should be there. I said, why? They say, because it's God who's done it. I was like, no, it's not. It's not done by God. Nothing. This is not God's doing. This is, we've created
Correct.
this. We've created this system, human beings. No. It's created by God. As like this end of discussion, you can't. I said, please go and watch it on 1st of August. That will give you a lot of answers.
Inshallah. Yeah. At a very young age or a very early stage in your career, you've been through quite a ride. Okay, it's been a rough ride, and that's been crazy. Who did you have, okay, who told you that you should not give up and that you need to fight the good fight? Because आप बाकियों के लिए जितनी भी लड़ाइयाँ कर ली, पहले खुद के लिए लड़ना ज़रूरी है. तो उस दौर में कौन था यार?
I think I've been blessed with good friends, and my sister has always been there for me from day one. Even when I was failing at auditions, she was there, and I would call her crying, and she would be like, "No, you have to keep doing it. Don't listen to the noise, just cut the noise. Don't listen to relatives, don't listen to people around you. Just keep doing it and see if it works for you. If you're not happy, that's the only time you step back.
Sure.
But as long as it makes you happy, you keep doing it. Even after all the criticism and she was the one I had stopped reading anything. She was the one who would read every comment till late at night, and then, she would get stressed, and then she only realized that it's going to affect me eventually. So she said, listen, just people are going to talk, even if you do good, even if you do bad, people are going to talk. So you rather do what you truly believe in and what you like, because this is your life and you only get to live it once. So just, give it your all, and you will make mistakes. You're a human being, but just learn from those mistakes, grow from those mistakes. Just don't, make sure you don't repeat them, but don't just cut the noise. And I think that advice has really helped me.
Good.
A lot.
To our sister like that for everybody.
For me, I've always said that my dad, my mom, primarily, and my friends. Every time I feel like, something's not right, my dad's always got something or the other to, up his sleeves to say, and I was like, whoa, okay, that made sense. And then my friends, every time I feel low, I hang out with them, and then I realize, because a few of them are still trying, they're still trying to get into the industry. They are, they have been trying since, they are my seniors. In fact, I've learned so much from them. So when I hang out with them, I get to learn a lot about, not only about the craft, but about myself, because I realize for them, it's like, you've reached there. So for them, it's so special. We don't realize, because we get stuck in this and we start, microscoping those little problems which we have. But once we go a little far and we see from other people's point, we are privileged to be able to get work, to do what we do. We are privileged to be having, functional families, good health. There's so many other things. And I was like, wow. And also getting the opportunity to choose and to do things and everything we have. So I feel like that's when I speak to them, they just make me feel like, wow, there's so much more I need to do. And I need to keep it like going. So I think my friends and my family, primarily, who
I
always
hope
are there.
Dhadak too makes them proud.
Yes.
This one's for the sister, this one's for the fam.